Hello and welcome to Combat Patrol Carnage. Here we are, it's the final video for issue 12, and in this video we are having our latest playthrough where we learn the rules for Battleshock and just how it could cripple and change your game plan in the roll of a dice, basically. So this replaces the old-fashioned leadership tests, and yeah, it does change a lot of the things, so we'll learn all about that in this issue and we'll put it to use in our game as well. Before we hit the table, don't forget to do all the usual: like the video, subscribe to the channel, drop me a comment, and don't forget to share it with all your social medias. If you know someone who's just getting into Warhammer 40,000, these videos might be very helpful for them, so do share them around if you'd like. It helps the channel out, and yeah, it helps get the much needed beginner information out to all the new players. Finally then, Combat Patrol Carnage is proudly sponsored by warbay.shop, your one-stop supply for all your hobby needs. They have a wide selection of new and used models and armies. They also stock paints, paintbrushes, gaming aids such as dice and tokens, and are suppliers of the Combat Patrol magazine and previous partworks from Hachette. So check them out, there'll be a link in the video description for you, and who knows, you might find your next hobby project at a bit of a discount. Right, grab your dice and let's roll our Battleshock test. So here we are back with issue 12 for our brand new game. So I've got all my dice and tokens, including a D10, which I'll be using to track turns. And yeah, we have, of course, our data cards as well there, plus my dice tray. We have our models, so we need everything again for this battle. So I'll just pause the camera and move these to one side. Ding, gone. So yeah, we have our magazine. And of course, our game mat. So before we hit the table and do some rolling, we have some new rules to read. So I'll adjust the camera and we'll get into learning about Battleshock. So here we go. Turn, oh, too far. There we go. So looking at a Battleshock test. So this is a replacement for the old-fashioned morale tests. But it's the same sort of thing. It's testing how durable you are to stay in a fight after suffering losses. So, Battleshock tests. It takes incredible willpower to hold firm in the face of heavy casualties. Even Space Marines may find their resolve shaken at times. In Warhammer 40,000, this is represented by Battleshock tests. When your units are below half strength, they risk becoming battleshocked for a turn and being less effective. Below half strength. If a unit falls below half of its starting number of models, it is considered to be below half strength. Similarly, a single model unit is considered to be below half strength when it loses over half its starting wounds. So we've got one example here. In this example, neither units are considered below half strength. 3 out of 5 intercessors, or Infernus Marines, are still alive, while the captain has only lost half his wounds. Neither need to take a Battleshock test. The Space Marine captain has suffered 3 wounds, indicated by the red wound markers. So yeah, if he lost another wound, he would be under half his starting models, and if we lost another Infernus Marine, we'd also be below our starting, which is detailed in the bottom example. Taking Battleshock tests. Every command phase, you must take a Battleshock test for any of your units that are below half strength. To do this, roll 2d6 and compare the result to the unit's leadership value. If you equal or beat the leadership value, the test is passed. Both the captain and Infernus squad are considered below half strength and must take Battleshock tests. The Space Marine player rolls a 9 for the Infernus squad, which is a success, but only a 4 for the captain, which is below the leadership, and a fail. So, Battleshock and objective control. If a unit fails a Battleshock test, the unit is Battleshocked until the beginning of the next command phase, when it will likely need to take another Battleshock test. A unit that is battle shocked is always considered to have objective control of 0, regardless of what that unit's datasheet says. This means a battle shocked unit may never contest an objective. You take battle shock tests before scoring points from objectives for that turn. So the Captain of Terminator armor has taken 4 wounds, failed his battle shock test, so his objective control is now 0 for the rest of the Space Marine's turn. Desperate escape. Ordinarily, units may fall back from other units freely. However, battle-shocked units risk taking damage when they fall back, representing the perils of a disorganized rout as opposed to a carefully planned tactical withdrawal. When a battle-shocked unit falls back, roll a dice for each model in that unit. On a 1 or 2, a single model in that unit is destroyed in its attempt to flee, regardless of how many wounds that model has. So, 3 battle-shocked. These battle-shocked termagants have fallen back. The Tyranid player makes desperate escape tests. 2 models are destroyed as a result, and the remaining 2 will escape. So we can now put Battleshock to the test as we have our latest scenario, Hold or Die. As the battle grows ever more desperate, both the Tyranids and Space Marines find themselves struggling not just to slay the enemy, but to hold the field. Faced with the brutality of close quarters combat, will they hold fast or will their resolve be shaken? In this mission, your aim is to capture and hold objectives. However, you'll have to contend with your unit's wavering morale in the face of the enemy, as you use the Battleshock rules for the first time. Find an opponent to play through this battle or take command of both sides to practice. Don't forget to take your Battleshock tests. Gather your datasheets. You will need the datasheets for the Inferno Squad, Librarian and Captain and Terminator armor, Termagants, Tyranid Prime, Von Rhein's Leapers and Barbgaunts. You'll also need objective markers and Tyranid terrain essential cards. So again, these 2 pieces of terrain, 4 objective markers, 2 in one half, 2 in the other half. So we start in control of 1, but we have 2 in no man's land. How to win. You score victory points as follows: 5 for 1 objective, 5 for 2, and 5 for more than the opponent. The player with the most points at the end of round 5 will win. And over the next page, we've got a couple of example turns. So the Space Marines advance. Having claimed points of objective 4, the Librarian moves away. First Marines move up to control 3, and the Captain even advances up, ready to control 2. And yeah, so you do your normal stuff. Then for Tyranid's turn, the command phase, they score again 5 points for controlling 1. The Prime moves out, Barbgaunts move up onto objective 2, Leapers and Termagants move up. And yeah, then you can do your usual stuff. So here we see that the Tyranids have charged all the units. Space Marine's turn, so command, depending on how many models are in objective range, depends who controls the objective. In this example, there's more Termagants than Inferno Marines, so they'll control it. There's nobody controlling 1 or 4. 2 is controlled by the Barbgaunts, as the Captain and Prime are dueling, and the Librarian and Leapers are dueling. Moving on, the Captain's dead. The Leapers are dead. The Winged Prime moves off to control objective 4. Barbgaunts sit on 2. The Inferno Marines are still struggling to control objective 3 there. And objective 1 is out of range of everything. And that's our victory. So we'll set up the battlefield and we'll have ourselves a mission. Right, here we are all set up. So starting from this video, I'm going to decide not to show movement. I'll sort of do a recap as we move into the shooting phase. So the magazine tells us to start with the Space Marines, so we will start with the Space Marines. So command phase will score 5 points from the Librarian controlling objective 4, and now we'll go into movement phase. So Space Marines have moved up. The Librarian hasn't advanced like the example. I'm going to let him smite the Leapers. Captain has advanced, trying to bait out the Tyranid Prime for a duel. And the Inferno Marines have moved up to hold objective. So the Inferno Marines aren't actually in range to get anything, so they're fine for the moment. So we'll go into the Librarian shooting. So do I actually need to do focus witch fire? -1 puts them up to a 5+. I suppose the -2 would be more deadly. So let's see. D6 shots though. If my dice would like to land in the tray. Ooh, the big 6. 4, 5, and 6. So these hit the leapers on freeze. Wow, only 1 miss. And wound on freeze because it's strength 6, tough 5. That's all of them wounded. Ouch. 5 wounds. Okay, so they are -2 to their save. So 5 6-up saves. I have to roll these one at a time. So first save is a 2. So that becomes D3 damage, 2. So 1 leaper has taken 2 wounds. Second save will kill it regardless. Yep, so D3 damage is another 2. So it kills our first leaper. Third save is a fail on a 5, D3 damage. Only the 1. Next save, failed, D3 damage for 3, so that kills the leaper. And we have 6-up save on our last leaper, who makes it, woohoo! But he will be battle shocked. So we get to see battle shock. I could shoot my storm bolter. I'll only get 2 shots. Hits on freeze. 1 hit, wounding on 5s. Ooh, it wounds on a 6. Leaper saves of a 4. It does. Captain can't shoot as he advanced, so that is the end of the Space Marine's turn. Hazard, anything but a 1, a 6. He's good. So moving on to Tyranids, turn 1. So I brought my dice tray in as we need to show Battle Shock. So we Battle Shock first in the command phase. So leadership of 8. No, he is Battle Shock. So objective control 0 for our leaper. So not a lot's going to happen with him. We do score 5 points though for the Tyranid Prime holding 1 objective. Now we'll go to our movement phase. So yeah, after scoring 5 points, the Tyranid Prime has moved out 10. The Barb Gaunts have moved up to control objective 2. Our Lone Leaper is moved up as well. And our Barb Gaunts have moved up. I was going to advance them, but I didn't want to run the risk of not being able to charge. Because I believe the rules are, if we advance, we can't charge. Until we have the rules that specify we can do otherwise. So for the moment, they're just going to stand there and they will shoot. All 10 guys are in range of them. 8, 9, 10. So 10 shots hitting on 4s on the Inferno Squad. 4, 5 miss. Oh wow, a lot of misses. Okay, only 4 hits. Strength 5, tough 4, so freeze. 2 wounds, no AP for our Inferno Squad, so 2 saves of 3 up. Ow, they down a Marine. Double 2. Barb Gaunts have moved, so it's just D6 shots each guy. 5d6. Wow, we've got a lot. Okay. I'll pause while I add the dice up. So 22 shots hitting on 4s. That's a lot. 4, 6 misses. Pretty good. And wounding the captain. I believe these are strength 5, tough 5, so it'll be 4s. Yep, so it's 4s. Not very good, so let's take out the ones that have succeeded. So that's 4. That was a fail before I knocked it over. 7, 8, 9. successes. So this is going to take a lot of damage on the captain if he can't save it. Luckily, no minus AP. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So 2+ saves. There is a single one, so he's took a single wound. Not too bad. It could have been a lot worse. That's it for shooting. Charging, we'll do the termagants at the Infernus Marines and the Prime at the Captain, with the Leaper going into the Librarian. We'll start with the Prime, who can't really fail. A 5, yep, that's going to be enough. He can charge actually up to there. Our Lone Leaper's going to need probably the same. Yep, a 5. He gets a 8. And our Termagants, they're going to need an 8. Can they make the Infernus Marines? They can't with a 6, I'm afraid. They're stuck in the open. So fight phase, we'll do our Prime versus our Captain. So 6 attacks, little talons. Hitting on 2s. That's everything. And strength 6. Tough 5, freeze to wound. 1 didn't wound, so 5 with a -1. Yes. So 5 free-up saves on the Captain. He passes them all. Wow. And next, Leaper, 6 attacks on the Librarian. Hitting on 3s, 2 missing. Wounding on... What's the strength of the Leaper's attacks? Strength 5, tough 5, 4s. Only the 1. -1, so the Librarian is 2+ save, down to 3. He saves. And now the Space Marines strike back. So 6 attacks with our Captain. If he's a Relic Blade. Hitting on 2s, that's everything. Wounding on, I believe it's 4s, because we're strength 5. Toughness 5. And it's not too bad. He's wounded 4 out of 6. So our Prime now has only a 6+ save, because he's -2 the Relic Weapon. He's damage to a pop. If he fails 3, he is dead. He has failed 3, so that is 6 damage. Actually, he hasn't failed 3, he's failed 6. He is, unfortunately, deadified. And the Captain will consolidate towards those Barbed Gaunts. Although, which one's closest, the Leaper or the Barbed Gaunts? Barbed Gaunts are 5.5, the Leaper is 4, so I won't consolidate because I don't want to move away from that objective that I'm going towards. Librarian strikes back with 4 attacks, hitting on 3s. Wounding on... 3, strength 6. Wow, 3 attacks, hitting, going down to 1. Wounding. -1 save on a Leaper. Down to a 5-up. Nope, D3 damage. Oh, in the box. And it's a big 3. That Leaper is dead. So that's the end of turn 1. So we'll move over to turn 2. End of the movement phase, the Captain has moved towards the Barbed Gaunts, Librarian has moved towards the Termagants. And we've scored 5 points in the command phase there. No Battleshock tests required for our side. Straight to shooting, so we'll do Smite. We'll only do the regular version, so no hazardous. D6 shots though for 5. So this hits on freeze and a strength 5, so we'll wound on freeze as well. Missing twice, wounding twice. Sweet, I rolled 6 dice instead of 5, so, but yeah, still 2 wounds. -1 to the termagants, 5 down to a 6. Double 1, fail. So the 2 wounds that got through are D3 damage. That is 3 and a 2, so that's 5 dead termagants. And 4 Infernus Marines will D6 shots. Haven't rolled terribly well. 20, no, 10, 15, 17. Automatic hits, wounding on 5s. No, freeze. What am I doing? 2, 4, 6, 8 wounds. Sweet. 8 termagant saves of 5 up. And not a single 5. They are toasted. I don't think this is going to be much left for anyone to do. So 4 shots rapid fire from the Stormbolter on us captain, hitting on 2s, wounding on strength 4 tough 4, I believe. Yes, so 4s. 2 minus nothing, so 4 up save. Save 1, 1 goes through for 1 damage. That's the end of shooting. Space Marine charging, Captain into Barb Gaunts as the only charge, and yeah, the 2 would have been enough. So he strikes with his 6 attacks from his relic weapon, hitting on 2s. So many out of the box. 2 1s. He won't wipe the squad, but he might do a lot of damage, hopefully. And wounding on 3s. Now 3 have gone through, so not too bad. These are -2, so 4s are down to 6s and 2 damage a pop. So the one that's wounded is dead. The next one is failed, so dead. And the last one, can he save? He can't, so another one dead for 2 wounds. They will need to roll for Battleshock in the next turn. The 2 that are still alive, though, will strike back with their claws. 2 attacks, 1 attack each in it? Yeah. Hitting on 4s. 2 hits. Wounding on strength 4, tough 5 5s. No, nothing. Right, moving to Tyranids. So we Battleshock the Barb Gaunts, leadership 8. Whew, just with a 9. So that means they will score the 5 points for holding that objective, because they are objective control 2 to objective control 1. We'll fall back because there's not a lot we can do. We'll move back to cover objective 1. So we can't shoot. That's it. Moving on to Space Marines. Turn 3. Command phase, we pick up 5, 10, 15 points. So maximum score. Our Librarian will go 5. Captain will go 5. We will smite regular shot for 5. Hitting on 3s. Only 3. Wounding on 3s. Strength 5 to 4. Or wounds. -1 on this. So 4 up down to a 5 up. 3 6s. They saved. So smite didn't work. He can 4 shots of Stormbolter. 3s. Followed by 4s. Nothing. Captain will do the same. 2s. Followed by 4s. Nothing again. Small arms fire didn't exactly work. Charging, it'll be the captain and the librarian both into the barbed gaunt. So librarian, 10, he's going to charge all the way over to there. And the captain, 5, perfect. Let's see if the librarian can kill him. 4 attacks hitting on freeze for 2, wounding on freeze for 1. -1, 6 up, 5 up save. Nope, D3 damage for 3. That's enough to wipe out 1, meaning the captain's going to have to mop up. So 6 attacks with a relic sword. Hitting on 2s, that's everything. Wounding on 3s. Ow, only 2. But these are -2, so it is a 6 up save to save. They did save a shooting. 3. No, that's definitely dead. And 1 and the 2 is enough to wipe them out. So now, after my previous overexcitement, it is definitely the end of the game. Yeah, there's nothing the Tyranids can do to claw back victory. Space Marines win 25-10. So yeah, let's head back to the magazine and we'll give you the Space Marine victory. So that's it. We'll move straight to the back page for our victory. Space Marine victory. The Space Marines have secured victory. There are no cheers, only solemn prayers of thanks to the Emperor, the Primarch, and the machine spirits of their weapons. This is but one triumph. If they truly wish to win this war, the Space Marines will need to face further horrors and test their resolve as it has never been tested before. So yeah, all in all, it was a pretty good mission. We at least got to see Battleshock, a fail and a success, which is pretty good. Other than that, though, sadly, the Tyranids just weren't able to handle the amount of Space Marines that... I mean, Space Marines are outnumbered, but they really do show their power that they can wipe out the hordiest of horde armies on their own. Hopefully, when we get the next delivery, we add 2 new units of the Tyranids, the Psychophage and the 2nd unit of Termagants. So we'll hopefully see a bit more of a equal fight. But yeah. So, speaking of next combat patrols, we have issue 13, the second part of our Terminators. So we get the final frame. We get to deploy them in a battle utilising only our Terminator models, which will be pretty cool to see. We have our third part of the Silver Templar short story, and we cover special abilities and characters being attached to units. Next up for issue 14, 2 new paints, so Rakarth Flesh and Screaming Pink. We get to paint all our purity seals on our Space Marines, so small details, but a lot of it. I think near enough every model has at least one that will need painting. And the Screaming Pink will be used on the Tyranids for their tongues, so there's quite a few models of tongues out, so we get to pick them out in pink. Yeah, that's it for this issue. We also get the Third Tyrannic War and the Inquisition, plus we learn about types of deployment. So, very fun mission to have in that one. It's a kind of a small mission. We only use 2 Terminators, the 5 Infernus Marines, and the Captain, but it's mainly to help learn about infiltrating and deep striking. So, pretty cool. That's it for this video. So let's bring the Captain in. He got the kill. Thank you, Captain. You got the kill. You claimed victory for the Imperium, wiping out the Tyranids. And next issue, you will get to fight alongside your fellow First Company brethren in the Terminator Squad. So we'll get these guys built, and I'll paint up the 4 that aren't going to be in the tutorial video. But yeah, we'll be painting these guys on camera. So thank you all very much for watching. Thank you again to Warbay.shop for sponsoring the series, and I will see you next time on more Combat Patrol Carnage. Goodbye.